Hello, ladies and gentlemen! Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host today, Mr. Mike, and this is the Game Raiders! And in today's video, we're going to be revisiting Bendy and the Dark Revival. A game that I incredibly like. It is the sequel to the incredibly popular Bendy and the Ink Machine game. And as you might have seen, I've already played this game here on the channel. So why am I revisiting it, you might ask? For one thing and one thing only. The archives, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Super Horror Bro Mike actually made a video revisiting it, so I thought, hey, why don't I revisit it too? So that's what we're going to be doing today, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be looking through the archives. If you don't know what the archives are, they're basically a place that shows off like the models for the characters in the game. And it just shows off the development process and all kinds of good stuff. So, really excited to see what Bendy and the Dark Revival has to offer. But before we begin, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to like and subscribe to the Game Raiders and click that bell to get notified whenever I upload more exciting content. We're at 637 subscribers, which is a really big and nice leap. I'm looking forward to the future, guys. I think we can do it. Get to 1,000 and big celebration. Trust me. Alright, let's get right into it. See what the archives has to offer us, ladies and gentlemen. Oh. Ooh, actually, I need to turn that mouse sensitivity up. Or not. Welcome to the archives. Bendy and the Dark Revival is filled with numerous characters that each had a critical role to play in the progression of the game. Here in the archives, you will learn a little bit more about them in an up-close and personal way. Feel free to explore. Alright. Bendy! The iconic imp was redesigned for the Dark Revival to stand out a bit from his traditional cartoon appearance. By giving him a suit of clothes, he posed some minor challenges, specifically creating a face that sported the classic Bendy, eerie smile, but still managed to be heartwarming in the right conditions. He is a fan favorite, so his design had to be just right. During productions, we originally envisioned Bendy to talk with a series of cute squeaks, to contrast the dark, low voice of the Ink Demon, but this turned out to be very distracting, and the idea was scrapped pretty early on. Let's go over here and check out Wilson! Wilson, cartoon. Wilson was a difficult character to balance. At first, the players are purposely led to believe he is a one-note character, obviously evil, with an over-the-top villain personality. But as the story progresses, we see other sides of the character, and the player becomes muddled with who this man really is. In one draft, Wilson was written as a servant of Nathan Arch Jr., a separate character at the time, but the story made far more sense as the two characters became one, eliminating a lot of needless narrative complexity. So yeah, he is son of Nathan Arch. Audrey cartoon. Audrey is a kind-hearted rogue with courageous determination, some flaws, and a deep, dark past. To make our story work, we needed a newcomer to the cartoon studio world, and Audrey was the perfect, fresh eyes to help experience the adventure. From day one of production, we knew that if people didn't connect with Audrey by the end of the game itself wouldn't be successful. Fortunately, she turned out to be quite memorable indeed, and stands out from other members of the cast. Yeah, I mean, honestly, she was pretty memorable. The Ink Machine, designed by Thomas Connor of the Gen Corporation, stolen by Joey Drew, retrieved by Archgate, and once again reclaimed by Gen to the Ink Machine's next adventure is a mystery. Do they still have... Yes, they still have the ink sign plastered on it. If you guys didn't know, the original Ink Machine actually had this as well. Let's check out Bendy. Oh, there are two of them. As the world of... Are we? No, we're not, Audrey. As the world of Dark Revival became more complex and established, we realized the Ink Demon's design needed a complete rethink to match our new tone. Previous versions of his appearance looked absolutely silly when placed in the world alongside other characters. No amount of creepy music or screen effects could conceal how out of place he looked. The Ink Demon needed to look different than everything else in the world, and show a natural progression of the Ink Demon's evolution as Wilson held the cycle in place. Very nice. Yeah, those teeth, that really does it. Returning for the climax of the Dark Revival, Beast Bendy was also revisited with the mindset of making him far more powerful and beast-like. Traditionally, in most horror games, they tend to build to a point where the main villain becomes a final form monster as a final boss. It's practically a trope. Our idea: what if you got to play as the final form instead? Oh, sorry, my camera glitched out there. That's actually a pretty unique idea. I like that. The Butcher Gang. The Butcher Gang. Barley. Are these all the same? Barley, Charlie, and Edgar, the three original members of the Butcher Gang, were formed from the Ink Machine, deconstructed by Alice for body parts, and blend together to stay alive with sneak attacks on their prey. In Dark Revival, we meet the official fourth member of the gang, Carly, the Ghost Girl. Although when you begin to examine her closely, Carly appears to be a shell with perhaps someone inside. Interesting. Yep. Very, very nice. Ooh, searchers. Or the keepers. Wilson's deadly guards and scientists. They aren't perfect, but the keepers will get the job done. No matter the cost, they are responsible for pressing the Ink Demon inside a smaller form, keeping his power sealed away until Audrey came along and unknowingly changed the situation. Keepers were visually designed to reflect the dangers and evils of the Ink Machine itself. Faceless beings made of gears, wires, with no sense of mortality, ordered around like cattle, a creation of living without purpose. Yep. That describes them alright. Alright, let's see what's over here. Okay. Porter. As the cycle was held in place, and with the influence of the Ink Demon held at bay, the cartoon world was able to grow and advance, creating such characters as Porter. I think I'm saying that right. Anyways, Lost One, who came to claim a new identity as an explorer, Porter was written with the knowledge that the Dark Revival would feature a far more serious tone than the first game of Bendy and the Ink Machine, as his lighthearted innocence would help the player feel some warmth in this inky world of sorrow. Yes. Heidi. It is believed that Heidi spent some time in the Pit, a prison set up by Wilson and the Keepers. It is unclear why, but most likely she was able to access places she couldn't have, or she shouldn't have. The experience in the Pit changed her, as it does many, reverting her into a childlike state, longing for happiness again. Very interesting. Samuel Lawrence, eh? Samuel Lawrence, the famous music composer of the studio. Samuel Lawrence originally had a slightly larger role in the story of Dark Revival, but the story already filled with so many characters, making them all play a meaningful part became a challenge. He was ultimately sidelined in favor of telling a more coherent storyline. Although it is interesting to note that Samuel Lawrence appears to have mastered the flow ability in Bendy and the Ink Machine long before Porter and Audrey could wield it. Very interesting. I actually never noticed him using that in game, surprisingly. Angel Alice, the self-appointed queen of the studio. Alice is one of the most memorable faces in the Bendy world. Forever lost in a tide of insanity, she is an absolute delight to write for as a character. An angel an angel with many layers. Time will only tell if this inky temptress will ever reappear. Lord Amok, ruler of the sewer cult. Lord Amok illustrates how the world of the ink had continued to develop into different societies deep within the darkest places. Though he was weak in a fight, his name will simply never die. Nope. Oh my. King Widow. The Ink Widows have begun to infest where the light grows darkest. Their king, the biggest and most feared, will only emerge from his nest when its young are threatened. Yeah, that's terrifying. Eesh. Ship Ahoy Dudley, the determined invention of Wilson, created to serve the dual purpose of dethroning the Ink Demon in the cartoon world, and also upstaging Joey Drew in the eyes of Wilson's father, Nathan Arch. Neither of these happened. Shipboy Dudley is a mysterious sailor with his own eerie grin, similar to that of Bendy, along with his sidekick Crackle the Crab. Oh, I knew there was a crab, but I didn't know it was a sidekick. It is unknown just what kind of cartoon adventures they would have had together. Where? Oh, that's interesting. Is that Wilson's head in there? You guys see that too, right? That's odd. Alright. Lurker. The Lurker, or Steve as he became known, originally created as a brute-type enemy that would free roam the way the Lost Ones do, but ultimately felt unnecessary as the random Ink Demon encounters already fulfilled the role of putting in the player on edge while exploring previously traveled locations, or traversed. In the end, the Lurker found a much better calling as an unlikely ally, effectively expanding him into more than a typical enemy. Very interesting. Wish there was some music, though. Oh well. Let's check out Joey Drew. Joey Drew, Memory. The man, the legend, the memory. Creating this vision of Joey Drew was both an exciting and daunting process. It was clear from the start that this Joey would be different from the one in the original Bendy and the Ink Machine game. This was a man with all the guilt from a past life, but without the experience to fully understand it. The real Joey Drew made many mistakes, but ultimately learned from them. This doesn't absolve him of his sins, but at the end of his life he was able to help correct some of them and help fight the darkness he created. Yes, Betty, a faithful maid, among other things, to Wilson. Betty was an important character to the story of Dark Revival. As a failed experiment, and some relatively new to the cartoon studio, she was able to give a somewhat different point of view to the state of the world. We have purposely left it unclear if Betty was in on Wilson's plot to harvest Audrey, or if she was a bystander behind her mask. There are still answers to be found. Oh, here's some more. Yeah. Henry Stein, the original Cycle Breaker. Henry Stein is the ghost of a man who lost his purpose years ago. Once fueled by finding a way to escape the tortures of the Ink Demon and finding his way home to his wife, Henry is now left with the cold reality of being a recreation of the person he thought was saved as a special surprise. Cold reality being a recreation of the person he thought he was. Saved as a special surprise for the fans of Bendy and the Ink Machine game, Henry was strictly omitted from all this public discussions of the character during the entire production, which spanned several years, but Henry returned with a very satisfying face reveal. Yeah, that's a nice mug, I guess. Allison, returning for another victory over the Ink Demon, Allison is always the voice of reason, a beacon of hope. Allison's design was carefully upgraded from the previous Bendy and the Ink Machine game to maintain her personality, but with more fidelity. The purpose of meeting Allison so early in the campaign was to introduce the player to a familiar face after the main introduction. At the start, Allison was able to serve the motivating force for Audrey until the true plot kicked in later. True. Tom is Allison's silent protector, and the only Boris clone involved in the main story. Where is Boris the Wolf? Rumor has it that during the events of the game, Boris is experiencing a dark survival story of his own. Yet, oh, right, a Boris in the Dark Survival. I remember that game. I mean, I never really played it all that much, but yeah, I do remember that. Ooh, here are the human characters. Very nice. Oh, it's a... Audrey, Audrey's donut. No, you can't have it, Audrey. Oh, there's the book. Hello, Audrey. The unknowing daughter of an animation pioneer, Audrey has blocked out the memory of her past after losing her father. But his role in her life was not over. A talented animator and artist, her skills landed her a job at Archgate. Was it fate that led her to reunite with Joey Drew's machine, the machine of her birth, or was it planned? I don't know. What do you guys think? Alright, Wilson. Haunted by the impossible shadow of Nathan Arch, Wilson sought to achieve something that would make his father proud. By luck, he stumbled upon the ink machine and was able to become the cartoon world's new master. Holding the cycle in place, he continued his experiments that could not fully be realized until the ink demon was purged. However, unnaturally, entering to and from the ink realm has taken a toll on Wilson's physical being, slowly robbing him of his health. Wait, so he had been there before? What? I mean, that's... Oh, we can walk up to them. Oh. Hello, governor. You look terrifying. And you... Well, to be honest, you look just as terrifying. Nathan Arch Sr. Nathan Arch was everything Joey Drew wasn't. He worked hard, built up from nothing, and never compromised his integrity. Joey had big dreams, but Nathan accomplished his own dreams. He and his wife Tessa raised a son with much love and care as they could, despite Nathan's career pressures. Sadly, his son did not share Nathan's natural talent for business and enterprise. I wonder if that's everything. I have no idea. Oh! Harold! Too much dry air, not enough fish food. That's hilarious. Alright, let's continue. I wonder if there's anything else around here. Any more secrets? Yeah, we saw Lord Amok. I wish they would have added a little bit of music while you're walking around here, but otherwise, this is very neat. I wish they had done this sort of thing with Security Breach. Harold. Yep, archives. Alright! And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the archives. This was a little bit of a shorter video, but I just wanted to go back and revisit Bendy and the Dark Revival in a way that's new to me and you. Overall, looking at the archives, really nice. Enjoyed it. It was neat to learn about all the characters, like you could in the original Bendy game whenever you would go to the archives there. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for today's video. Once again, my name is Mr. Mike. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't yet, be sure to like and subscribe to the Game Raiders and click the bell, as I said, because we are approaching, hopefully, 650 subscribers soon. So let's get us there. But yeah, that's going to do it for today, ladies and gentlemen. As I said, my name is Mr. Mike, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye, everybody!